Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social, episode 16. I am your host, Maz, and of course I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, Ryan and Ben. How are we doing, chaps? We all good?
Merry Christmas.
Yes, yeah. Merry Christmas, first of all, actually.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to everyone, and hopefully you have a happy new year. And just before we get into all the football chat, we just got to talk about something funny that actually happened in this past week. So basically what happened was, right, so me and Ben were just minding our business, having a good time.
I think it was a Friday night.
Yeah, I think it was a Friday night, something like that. And we got a DM from a guy called Aaron. And so, we were a bit confused. We sort of read it. It came through like on our DMs, but like the ones where you can't see it, so it doesn't pop up straight away. The requests, that's it. And it started off with like, I really like your podcast, love it, etc., etc. Ryan's a really good guy, but he's got to go. And me and Ben were a bit confused. We were just a bit like, Ryan's a good guy, but he's got to go.
Lad. Yeah.
I
love Ryan.
I can't believe you boys didn't get this at first time. I can't believe this went over your head this much.
I genuinely really embarrassed to say that this happened. But yeah, so obviously me and Ben were a bit confused, and we were just like, okay, that's a bit harsh, because we really like Ryan. He's a great member of the podcast. And but anyway, long story cut short, what actually happened was he was actually talking about Matty Ryan and saying that it was his time to go. And I don't know how. Looking back at it now, Ryan, yes, it was very obvious, and I'm very ashamed to say that I didn't get it. Basically, long story cut short, me and Ben are idiots, and we thought that Aaron wanted Ryan gone.
The only reason that we kind of thought about it is because he commented on our last episode saying, Ryan, you replied to my DM, thank you, but Ben and Maz, you ignored it. And then so me and Maz were like, well, surely he didn't. What did he say to Ryan? So we asked Ryan, and he was like, oh, he said the same to me, but I just said, yeah, thanks. So we were like, why would you say thanks? He was like, but we still, at this point, me and Maz still thought he was talking about Ryan Adset getting him off the podcast. And Ryan was like, yeah, I agree. I was like, okay.
It's a shock in itself that I actually replied to my DMs, to be fair, so congratulations.
But I don't even thanks Aaron for the confusion. Yeah, cheers.
But thanks Aaron for making us look like absolute idiots. And we hope you enjoyed that little moment of specialness.
Yeah, and sorry Ryan Adset, you're a sound guy. Obviously.
Oh, do you know what? After watching Brighton this season, I'm immune to anything, to be honest. So
pain.
I don't care anymore. Pain doesn't affect me anymore. Yeah,
pain threshold.
I'm a psychopath now.
So right, let's going on to the game.
Let's talk about this game. Oh my god.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So I mean, it was, let's be honest, boys. So a 2-2 against an informed West Ham, West Ham team on paper, and if you said to us before, maybe a couple of games ago, like, West Ham are a good run of form, we'd probably take that result all day long. But after 100%. What happened in that 90 minutes, we're feeling a bit deflated, aren't we? So let's just
should have been every single game.
Let's talk to you, Ryan, first. Then just give us a sort of general recap of the game and what your thoughts were.
Well, okay. First half was good. West Ham didn't really look like doing anything first half. I'll be honest, they were really poor. But I think that was their plan. They knew that we were going to go and dominate them and hold possession and have a few good chances. To our shock, we actually scored from one of those chances. Maupay got a goal after his long drought, which was nice, and we're all happy. I mean, we deserved it at the end of that half. We played well. West Ham, as I say, didn't do too much really at all. But it was. I think it was a typical West Ham sort of thing. They knew that we were going to have that sort of possession. I think they knew that they had the quality on the bench to bring on in the second half and really push us and punish us for the amount of chances we missed as well, because obviously Welbeck had a couple. I think Maupay had a couple as well. So, and I'll just say for that first half, Solly March was fantastic. And even in second half, Solly March was, again, fantastic. I can't praise him enough at the moment. He's been brilliant. Second half, we brought Lallana off, and I think that's where it probably went wrong. I don't know what happened to him. Apparently, it was a groin injury, is what I've just read.
I also heard it was. I heard it was also we were sort of saving him for Arsenal, which I found a bit. I don't know if it's an injury, obviously understandable because he's the most injury-prone guy ever. But if it was maybe keeping him, I would have maybe done. If it was a case of just keeping him fresh, why not take him off in the 60th minute or keep him on a little bit longer just to solidify that lead that we had.
Yeah.
Keep the confidence up. But yeah,
he was one of our best. Well, I didn't really think about it until I thought it wasn't too bad because he wasn't that great. But I looked at his stats at the half time, and he was actually, he was one of the best players on the pitch, and I didn't even realise. But I suppose that goes to show his quality, and he's got quite a high expectation of him, so he probably don't appreciate it. But when he come off, I think you could tell a difference straight away. Alzate was quite rusty. I think he hasn't been playing much, and he was a bit. He gave the ball away a few times, but I'm not going to get on Alzate's back because he's been out of the team a lot. So, but he was a bit rusty for sure. Second half, it was a typical sort of fall apart in the second half. We came back. We went 1-1. We went 1-1. It was just calamity at the back. To be honest, it was just all round complete shambles. I don't even know what.
That's what let us down.
Yeah, there's about 6 defenders left on their bum at the end of that, and it went in the top corner. And to be fair to him, it was a good finish. I think Ben Johnson, was it? He's a kid. So
a little stat for you, actually. So he scored in his debut. So that was his debut goal. I think he's been at the club since he was like 7 years old. So he's like a West Ham through and through. He scored on his debut. And then, obviously, last week, we had Jayden Bogle, who scored his Premier League debut as well.
Yeah.
So we've had 2 debutants score against us in 2 weeks running. So
if you're a young kid right now, you're going to be thinking, "Oh, I'm going to get a game against Brighton."
Yeah, that Arsenal Balogun striker is probably going to come on and net a hat-trick.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, I forgot about him. Great.
Literally.
But then they scored, and then to be fair to us, we did come back into it. We actually scored from a set piece. Could you believe it? It was like a Christmas miracle. We actually scored from a set piece, and we went 1-0 up. And it was never handball. Let's just.
Let's clarify that because it was because when he went to VAR, I was like, "Are you actually bantering me right now? Are you actually going to rule this out?" Because for a moment, I thought they were going to rule it out, and I was like, "They can't, surely not."
They've already done us dirty, like with a really harsh decision on that before. I can see why people would say, "With letter of the law." Is that it hit his hand, so then it should be a handball. But obviously, that would just be so harsh if it was given as a penalty. But that's where the confusion is, because the letter of the law, it says it should be.
I agree with you with regards to letter of the law. However, one angle that I saw, it didn't even hit his elbow. It hit his abdomen.
Oh, no, it hit his underneath his forearm, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then hit underneath. So. For me personally, there's not in a million years. If that had been given,
so harsh.
I would have been absolutely raging.
The thing is, the more it was going on, I can't believe it took that long, and that's what was annoying me so much. Like the incompetence of the
officials. Like 7 slow-mos.
The incompetence of this league, in the officials it's so bad. Like it's so poor. The fact you've got to look at that so many times. And like realistically, where's Dunk going to put his hands? He's literally got his elbows like this. Like he's trying to not hit the ball. Yeah. So if you give that, and the fact it went on for that long, it's just they're zooming in. It's almost like they're trying to rule it out, like rather than anything else.
Any
excuse. It's like they're trying to get it, and I'm just like, if this was like I don't want to sound like we're a small club, we're the victim, but if that was like a Man United, they would have looked at it and then probably just moved on. And I don't want to make that sound, but I genuinely think if that was Bruno Fernandes in there. They would have just looked at it and gone, "Nah, that's not handball," and then just moved on with it.
But what worried me was the fact that I don't know if you noticed with all the other decisions, whenever they take that long to look at something, it's usually gets reversed. Yeah. So, for example, if it's a goal, they'll give it the other way. And so the longer it went on, I was just like, "Fuck!" Like they're gonna rule this out. And I was sat with a friend watching it, and I was just like, "This is gonna get ruled out." But thankfully, that common sense prevailed, and it was given. So yeah.
Then Dunk scored a good goal. He took it well.
Yeah, he did.
It was a good corner actually. I was thinking, what are we doing short corners? Because this whole two men on it. There's Trossard and March, isn't it? And I was like, what are we doing? He played it short, and then to be fair, he caught him lacking, and it was a good finish.
It's working well against Fulham as well, so I think it's something we should probably try and continue.
Yeah, that's
because that makes the defenders are going to have to say, is it going to be an in-swinger or an out-swinger? And if you're defending a set piece, you're going to want to know straight away what it's going to be.
Yeah, true.
So it leaves them guessing.
True. That's true. Then at 2-1, you think this game's ours. Like we should be, seeing this one out. Because with us, it's like. We can't see out a win. We don't seem to have the sort of fight and the character or whatever cliche you want to use. We don't seem to have it. We don't have that mentality to see out a game.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see how many times we've actually been leading in a game and then for us to then.
I think we're the worst, aren't we?
Are we?
We're
Are we
the
one,
worst,
of
aren't
the, one of
we?
the worst? Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I think we are the worst to throw away a game from a leading position.
Says it all, mate. Says it all, really.
We done well to get
it's
back in it
just
though.
so
Like
frustrating.
before Dunk scored, I think like we showed some fight actually going back again.
Yeah.
Our heads could have dropped, couldn't they? Very easily.
No,
But,
100%. I thought that was going to happen, to be honest. As soon as they scored their equaliser to make it 1-1, and they brought on Yarmolenko and Lanzini, who were instrumental in that first goal. And I thought, right, here we go. They're going to just, put us on the back foot. We're going to be defending for the rest of the game. And yeah, like you both said, credit to us for coming back into the game and really giving it some. And yeah,
we need to touch on Robert Sanchez. Some of my friends were saying that he was well out of position for their first goal. I know he was kind of caught a bit out off his line, but I think he done the right thing, having to try to chase down the ball. I don't think he done really anything wrong there. I
thought it was, for me personally, I think it was just the defence in front of him really should have cleared that. Like how we're just sort of scrambling and sort of letting it bobble around and just hoof it out, do a John Smith, whack it out the stadium. Like don't just like, I don't know, pansy about in the box and hopefully, hope for something to happen. We got to take the initiative and just clear it. Just get rid of it. Yeah. Like go back to basics. Like we always, like one of my friends said the other day, he said like, Brighton are very much a team. Now I know this doesn't really work the other way around, but just as an example, he said that we're very much a team where we love to, play the ball around. We're like, the old school Arsenal, like play it into the back of the net. But like, I feel like that even with defending, sometimes we're trying to be too what's it called, fancy with it. It's like we don't want to just, we don't want to look like the team that will just hoof out the box like a Burnley or like a West Brom, for example. We want to be the team to play out the back. But it's just like sometimes, forget being fancy and all like nice touches and stuff like that. Just get rid of the ball. And I felt like that goal epitomised that. And we were punished for it. And it was a good finish, to be fair, from the young lad. But yeah, I think Sanchez could have done better.
It was a good goal, sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, just frustrating, wasn't it? And let's rewind it back as well, actually, because obviously, Ryan, you touched on quite a few sort of incidents or sort of moments, I suppose.
Yeah, for God's sakes, Ryan. God, where's the format?
No.
Come on,
no.
I'm good.
I thought I'd sort of do
Aaron
like
was
a
right.
little
Aaron was right.
overview, and then we'll go through it a little bit afterwards.
No, mate. It's
no,
fine.
it's calm, mate. I'm joking.
Don't listen to Ben. He's chatting waffle. And yeah, so so yeah, obviously. The second goal as well that they scored. So we, Souček's header. Now, all round, let's be honest, like defensively again, we just looked a bit of a shambles. Right. And White lost his man, so White let Souček go, and then Lewis Dunk. Like I'm a big fan of Dunky, but how has he not headed that? Yeah, you've got to head that away.
His feet were basically planted as well. Like it's almost as if Souček said leave, as if like really, I think that's really frowned upon when you do that. But it's almost like Souček said leave it, and Dunk kind of like went, "Oh, okay." The keeper,
and then sort of ducked.
Because he kind of headed it, but almost like didn't want to head it at the same time. It was
so
a really weird
poor
one.
from both of them, from both of our best centre halves. Dunk and White, we'd bank them to get rid of that ball any day of the week, and
100%.
it was just it was so poor from both of them. Really.
That's not the first time Ben
nailed on.
But this is what I was just about to say, Ben, actually. So for me, Ben White's been one of our best performers, and I don't want to knock him down, but I feel like today he was poor today, but I think that was a big factor was because he was playing out of position. I just he's not a right wing back, and he's going to struggle. Like I felt bad for him because he's basically set up for failure. Like he's been set up. Like Potter's.
I don't think he done too bad. Like he got forward he made a few decent runs, but at the same time, it made me realise. Imagine if we have Lamptey and Solly March out. So then we literally have no cover, so we'd be playing Dan Burton left wing back and Ben White right wing back. Like we need this. Just shows that we do need some cover at fullback.
Yeah. No,
Dan Burn was actually quite good. Like,
mate,
Dan
I was
Burn
just about to say this.
He was really good.
I was just about to say this. I think he redeemed himself from the game where we all slated him. He really redeemed himself because he actually played really well, Dan Burn. And fair play to him. He looked really good.
I was very scared when I saw that the team sheet. Like it looked similar to what we played against Leicester, and obviously we got spanked. And playing Dan Burn at left back, but then I think Dan Burn ended up playing left centre back, didn't he today?
Yeah.
But he definitely redeemed himself. A lot of them did until the set pieces where everyone just
it was the second goal that to me it was just like we've just let it slip again, and that's I think what's the most painful thing for me. I think because we seem to have this inability to sort of just see out a game. And finish a team off. We just can't do it. And to me, I don't want to, because as I say, we always sort of back Potter every single week, but that mentality has to come from the top somewhere because it's a bit of a fish rots from the top, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Rots from the head. And you got to think, if you if that mentality is not in their heads to be able to see out a game, to be able to just finish a team off, punish a team, to be able to simply, sharp shop if we need to, and have a bit of character about, like how we showed in the first half where we were coming forward and we were looking quite strong, and to get that second goal, which we did. I'd say since that goal went in, it was almost like we just fell asleep. It was like we just didn't. It just felt like no one really cared that much. That's what got to me a bit. It was almost like there was no one there that was really driving it on, or like we had Lallana in the first half, who was really like, he always pushes it in, and he's
really putting some tackles in as well. Yeah,
he does, and he you can see him when he orders everyone around, and he's kind of like being that motivator. And I know Dunk is the captain, but he's not always been that sort of the loud one. And I saw the little clip of when Lallana was on the bench and he was still shouting at him. But we don't have like another Lallana. We don't have someone to really drill it into the players to make them care, if you know what I mean. Like to genuinely
I think,
die by the shirt.
Yeah, no, mate, I 100% agree with you. And I think, and also as well, that filters down to the fans as well. So I even saw myself. So when we were 1-0 up at half time, I was chatting to people like on WhatsApp, like one of my mates who's a big Brighton fan. And I literally said to him, I was like, even though we're 1-0 up, watch us either lose this game or, for them to come back and draw. And that sort of, and that's me being a pessimist. Like, I said to him, I was like, pessimist FC. We are so sort of negative when it comes to like, even, and like you said, it's that, I think that comes from, that filters down from the players. So the players don't give us that confidence as fans for us to then back them in that second half. Because like, I'll be honest with you, I literally said to my mate, I was like, look, it's 1-0, but I don't really fancy it, because West Ham, because they were shocking first half, let's be real, the way that Moyes set them up was just all wrong. And I knew for a fact that he's going to bring on subs on, which he did, Lanzini and Yarmolenko, and they made a massive difference. And straight away, you could see they looked at a much, much better team. I was like, right, here we go. This is it. And 100% right. I feel like we lack those leaders. Like in the first half, you said like Lallana, and I saw Bissouma as well putting some crunching tackles in. And asserting themselves, and actually. We always talk about them feel a bit too nice, don't they? And they feel a bit, and exactly what Gary Neville was saying in the first half as well, about how Brighton just never really, they're dominating possession, but they just never punish teams. And I think that's literally the bottom line: is we have great individual players, but collectively going forward, we just don't take our chances, and it's just a game after game after game. But in saying that, we did score 2 today, which is for me is a big positive.
I think it is an improvement 100%, and it's just the players' confidence. And we saw what Maupay getting a goal kind of done for him. I know his passing was terrible in the second half, but you could tell that gave him a bit of a confidence boost, and he was playing those risky passes that maybe he wouldn't have done previously. I think that goal done him a world of good, and I was so happy he scored that.
Mate, I was about to say, I was buzzing for him. As soon as he scored that, I was like, yes, like that is perfect. Because like we mentioned last week, he is our best striker. He is our best striker in our team. He's our top goal scorer, albeit 5 now, which isn't the best, but he is our best striker at the club, and I was buzzing for him because I want him to get that confidence back. I want him to get that air of that arrogance he's got,
especially coming up against Arsenal as well. Hopefully that confidence will be good for him. But I was well happy for him, and you can see what it meant to all the players when they were celebrating as well. They knew that was an important thing. And
of course, I didn't see the celebrations. I was just going,
I saw them in the highlights, but it just shows what it's done for him. And I think I know we were a bit down, but I also do think it was an improvement. We scored 2 goals. That's an improvement in itself, really. Yeah. It's just shame.
That's a fair point.
Shame the defenders screwed up for us.
I mean, it was literally just a frustrating thing, because I feel like with us as well, right? Each game, right, we're either really good going forwards or we're really bad defensively, and it felt like today was a bit of a mixture of both. So we looked good going forward, but then at the back we just looked a bit shaky and a bit, it's showed by the 2 goals. And like that Souček goal, I don't know if anyone who follows us on Instagram saw Mayan and Ben's reactions to the goal. Like, it was just so frustrating. Like, watching that, I kid you not, I called it. I was like, right, they're going to score from this. They're literally going to score from this.
It was so obvious, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's so obvious.
Souček making a run like that, it was just like he's obviously going to score.
Yeah.
And
the thing is, it wasn't even a good header though. It was literally like a deflection off his face. That's what pisses me off even more. It's not like he actually headed it. It literally just hit him in the face and went in. It's like, that is the most Brighton goal.
But he's there, isn't it? He's there.
Yeah.
That's why they score so many set pieces, because they know where to be. Like that's what Murray used to do. He was always there, even if it come off his thigh. I remember one against Swansea, it come off his thigh, but he was always in that position to do that, and that's why West Ham are so clinical, because they've always got that big 6 foot plus guy in there that's going to get their head on it, or going to get their chest on it, or shoulder on it, or something.
Yeah,
because
and I saw someone on socials. They said David Moyes has found his new Marouane Fellaini, and I was like,
wow, yeah.
I was like, that is literally like nail on the head. Like he is that kind of player. He's just there, and he just scores like those kind of aerial threat, and he's very good in the air. And
that's what we want Moda to be for us.
Yeah, 100%. Like if he's anything like Souček, I'm absolutely buzzing with him. If we can have a different kind of player, and also as well, just wanted to talk about sort of our standout players, because we're always, sometimes we're a bit negative, boys, and I feel like maybe we should be a bit more positive. So I'm going to ask you both. So we'll start with you, Ben. I'm going to ask you to name your 3 standout players from the Brighton team, and then Brian, get you to do the same, and then I'll do mine as well, and just give a bit of a reason as to why you've chosen them as well.
All right, I'll go Basuma first. I feel like he bossed the midfield once again.
Yep.
I thought he was getting a bit too cocky in our last match. He made a few mistakes. He was trying to be a bit too fancy, and he got caught out a couple of times. But I think he had a very good game today, especially to get Declan Rice. I think obviously it was Noble in the first half. He bossed them. Then second, I'd have to say Solly March. He is a completely different player. He's the player we've always wished we were going to get out of him. I'm just so happy for him, mate. It's actually finally kicking on for us. And then, I think Dan Burn just redeeming himself with his past performances that have been proper shite. I think it was really good. I wasn't scared when people were attacking Dan Burn. For some reason, I just had confidence in him today. And he proved us right. And obviously, he had a pretty decent role in the first goal we scored. Great little run overlapping Solly March. So
that's pretty much my top 3, but I might try and switch up when it gets to me. But Brian.
Yeah, I'm struggling to think of anyone that really breaks that, to be fair.
Yeah.
As you say, Dan Burn was surprisingly very, very good. I said it at half time that he just looked like Roberto Carlos reincarnated in that first half. He was up and down. He was doing really well.
A 7-foot version.
Yeah, he made the first goal, and and he did well. So Burn's got to be on there. You could argue maybe Lallana, but he wasn't on long enough. But I think Basuma's got to be on there. Again, because he's fantastic, and we know how good Bissouma is. We talk about it every week. We know everything that he's good at, and the reason why he's linked with these massive clubs. He deserves it. He's a fantastic player, and that goes without saying. I think Dunk was poor, to be fair, so it's hard to put him in there. White was poor, so it's hard to really break that, to be honest. Solly March was great, as I said earlier. I've got to be honest, I'm struggling to really put anyone else in there over them, because
mate,
you could.
I'm exactly the same.
I think that's it.
I think for me the top 3, it's got to be March, Basuma, and Burn for me. Just basically for all the reasons you guys have listed. So thanks for taking that from me.
But do we think Dan Burn? The only reason Dan Burn kind of came in, I think they spoke about it before the match, is to help defend the set pieces. But I didn't see him once marking Souček, who was their most threatening player. Like surely
it doesn't
he's
make
the
any
person
sense.
you'd be asking him to mark. But
the only reason he's on the pitch, he didn't actually do what he's meant to do.
And we went back to zonal marking, and literally Souček drifted past
this...
White as if nothing. He wasn't even there, and he literally stood still the whole. Oh mate, don't.
Yeah.
Should we talk about zonal marking? Is there a lot we can talk about?
Yeah, that's literally what I was going to say. Yeah, let's talk about zonal marking. Oh my god, what is all that about?
Yeah, I'm personally not a fan of zonal marking, because I feel like with that you sort of give the responsibility to others sometimes. So, for example, let's say we're the back 3, right? So, for example, if I'm then
the smallest back 3 in the Premier League,
I was going to say the worst back 3 ever. But no. Imagine we were the back 3, right? And for example, let's say Ryan. So we're all zonally marking, but then let's say the guy closest to me then goes to Ryan. And then I blame Ryan for why we're doing a zonal marking. Whereas if we all had our own asserted player, so I was marking Souček. Oh well, that would be awful. But and Ryan marking someone else. We all had our own designated man. I feel like then we could at least assert some kind of blame or responsibility to a certain player. And I just feel like that's just a much better system. That's just me personally, anyway.
And it's
I don't know
clearly proving
you
that
guys-
it's clearly proving that it's not working. Like we saw it against Southampton, and obviously that this whole season we've been shocking at set pieces. So, Matty Ryan, he started to show that he wasn't working. We got rid of him. Sanchez came in, and I think personally he's still doing well. So surely you'd think the next step is to stop the zonal marking, but for some reason Potter still is sticking with it, and it keeps failing. So I really don't get why you'd keep going on with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have an answer to that. Unfortunately, I'm
just
not a qualified coach either, which is a shame.
You should be.
But,
I just think like, it just to me it looks like the players look confused. They don't know what's going on, and when you see the goal go in, they're all sort of looking at each other. And I know players do that anyway, but it's
this is what I mean. This is what I mean. They're all looking at each other, sort of trying to blame each other, and it's like, well, if one of you designated a man, so let's say if Ben White was designated Souček, you could then be like, right, Ben, you've lost your man there. That's your fault. Whereas, like you both mentioned, it's like we don't have that organisation. Like Potter hasn't said, "Oh, right, you like when it comes to marking, you guys go for this person, you go for that person." It just all seems a bit of a mishmash, and no one really knows what's going on. So yeah, I mean, very frustrating.
It's not working. So that to me is a bit alarming. The fact we keep doing it, and it's the first sign of insanity, isn't it? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, but. It's not working. We need to change that up desperately. And also, 100%. I know we scored one today, but our set pieces have been dreadful recently, and even today they weren't great. We did score one.
I thought they were better, a lot better than they have been today.
They were better, but were they good? Really?
Webster had a chance in the first half. I know it's a simple save for Fabianski, but it's a decent, powerful header. I think they were a lot better. I know what you're saying. We've been shocking from them recently, but I think we were definitely better with them.
Maybe
with them
better,
today.
but yeah.
And then final thing as well. I just wanted to talk about before. So we've actually touched on it a little bit, to be fair. But Maupay, before he scored the goal, I noticed where, and I think Gary Neville pointed out as well. Basically, there's a bit where Bassoon had done an unbelievable ball over the top, and was it March was through. And he was sort of one-on-one with the fullback, and then Maupay just stood there and just didn't run back, run to support him at all.
Whatsoever. Yeah.
And I think Gary Neville spotted it, and I sort of spotted it as well at the time. And
Solly March even complained to it, didn't he? He literally put his hand up and looked like pointing at
same with World Cup as well. He didn't make the run either.
No, exactly, and I just feel like something like that, and I think it goes to the point, Ryan, what you were talking about, like that passion and that hunger of wanting to bust the gut to get into that box, and up until the goal, obviously, I think the goal really changed Maupay's game because up until that point, he wasn't shit, but he wasn't offering too much. He wasn't amazing, but I think that goal really changed it. Yeah, no, definitely, and I just feel like
glimpses of him in Welbeck.
I think it's, definitely. There was a couple of bits where they linked up really well, but I just want that to be more consistent and like Ryan mentioned, just show a bit more hunger and a bit more desire to
the ruthlessness that you want. You want those players charging in the box, whether they're going to knock it or not.
Yeah, imagine us playing for Brighton. Right, we're going to do anything we can. I know we're not. We're
really pushing for a move here, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to mention it again. I've
January's
got
coming up
now, so sign me up.
I've
got last year's away kit.
But yeah, no. My point is, we would do anything to win a game of football if we were playing for a club. We would throw anything at it to try and get a toe on it. The Welbeck chance, and he had two in the first half where I feel he could have done a lot better. It's crossed into him, and he's sort of half-heartedly gone for it. I mean, that first one where I think it was a cross from March, and it was a great cross, and it was into Welbeck, exactly where he needs it. And Vardy scores that any day of the week. If that's into Jamie Vardy, that's a goal. That's 1-0. And I think that's the difference, isn't it? But yeah, that the whole lack of sort of punishing, threatening. What's the word I'm looking for? That
clinical,
final killer, clinical. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's just not there. It's really not there. It is starting
to
be a bit concerning now because we're starting to look at the next games. We're thinking, okay, we've got Arsenal next. They picked up a 3-0 against Chelsea. They dropped their big players, didn't they? They dropped their big boys, and it worked. They dropped their egos.
No, definitely.
They put in the boys that want to fight for it.
Yeah, definitely.
He said it before half time, didn't he? He said that. Before the first half, in the build up, he was saying how he'd love to see us sign a striker in Jan, and like that, saying that we really do need it.
I was just about to say,
Yeah, we do.
before we get into the Arsenal preview, I've got a question for you both. So, with obviously the January transfer window coming up, what, in 3 days or 4 days starting?
Yes, to your answer, I would re-sign Bobby Zamora, Maz. Yeah.
that wasn't going to be my question, but I agree. I would love to have him back. But let's start with you, Ryan. So, if you could pick 3 transfer targets for the striking position, who would you want to see and why? Even if not 3, maybe just one. Who would be your? Let's do one. Your ideal January transfer window signing up front. Who would you want it to be?
Well, my ideal striker is a Glenn Murray-esque type player, someone who is going to score almost every single time. You know, because you look at all the top clubs in the league. You look at your Leicester's. They've got that. They've got that Vardy, who's you think he has 10 touches a game and he scores. With 2 or 3 of them. And you think we don't have anyone of that sort of quality who's going to take a chance. So I think about it, it's difficult because, realistically, you're not going to be looking at signing someone like that. And
no, definitely.
You think for the sort of money that we might have, you might have to look at maybe a championship player like your Ivan Tonys and stuff or something like that. But it's difficult. It's really difficult. As I say, Boulaye Dia was linked with us. Whether or not, I don't think that's probably going to happen. But I wouldn't mind Tony. I've seen some bits and pieces of him. He's not the finished article yet. He didn't work at Newcastle, but what he's done at Brentford, you can tell he's clinical. So, I don't know. We need someone like that to score. So, yeah, I'd say maybe him. It's tough. It's tough. Thinking of a striker like that.
And I think as well, you talk about it being tough. I think, the toughest thing is the January transfer window. No one, especially in the Championship, is not going to let go of their 15 goal striker. Like Brentford will be, they'll be like, "There's not why. Why would we sell Ivan Toney when we don't need to? They don't need to. He's probably tied down to a big contract. They're doing well. That they're flying high at the top of the Championship. There's just no need for it. But I was about to say, Ryan, my ideal signing would be from the Championship. So like an Ivan Toney or even like someone who's not, like a Josh King maybe, because he's proven in the Premier League. For me, I know he's not been banging in goals and he's been injured, and he's not been prolific this season.
The only trouble I have with Josh King, before you say anything about him,
go on.
His attitude stinks. Apparently, the reason why he's not been in that Bournemouth team, because I spoke to a few Bournemouth fans about it, and they just said that he doesn't want to play for them because he thinks he's bigger than them.
Right,
and that's basically the reason. So he's injured, but he's not injured, if you know what I mean. He just doesn't want to play. So do we want someone like that realistically?
No, I mean that's a fair point. I mean, I wasn't aware of that, but no, that's a very fair point. I want players because I don't want another sort of diva or for example, Maupay. He had a bit of a his moment, didn't he, a couple of weeks ago, where he sort of had a spat with whoever, and we don't need any more of those kind of players. So if that is the case, then no, I wouldn't want to see him. But I think our best bet, to be honest with you, just realistically, unless it's a loan from the Prem. So do you know what? This is my unrealistic one, which is just never going to happen. But what I would love to see is Olivier Giroud. If we could sign Olivier Giroud,
he'd be the dream.
That he's literally right in terms of a striker, like what you talk about, like finishing. You just know if the ball's put into him, and he will get the service with us. We actually will give him the service, as you can see from the Solly March cross to Welbeck. The through balls we give all our strikers, we service them. They just don't score it. So if we had a clinical finisher, they would do bits. So like a Giroud would be my ideal, but I know it's never going to happen.
Oh yeah,
but that in an ideal world
would be banging loads of goals for us.
Yeah, and unless it's a loan from the Premier League, someone like that, a clinical finisher from the Premier League, but you then argue why are they not starting for their team? Why would they be on the bench? And then I think Championship's sort of the only viable one, really. But yeah, Ben, any to add?
No. Last week you said that we need a more mobile striker, but I really do think that, obviously, Glenn Murray's not quick enough. And you're saying Giroud, someone of that caliber and that kind of that has a clinical finish on him. I don't think we really need someone with rip-roaring pace. I think they'll get the service no matter what their pace is. So, which is good for us.
We've got Percy Tau coming in too.
Well, let's talk. Yeah, let's not talk about that meme. But yeah, I think it opens up. We've got a bit more of a choice. We don't really need that rapid striker. I think someone that's
No,
just
agreed.
as clinical because they're going to get the service, like you
definitely.
said, wherever they are.
Yeah.
But if we've
No,
got those
definitely. No,
fullbacks
definitely.
overlapping, that's how we play. It seems with Solly March and Lamptey. As soon as if they're whipping in decent enough balls, then all we need is someone that can actually head the ball in. Or as simple as it
To answer
sounds.
the question, who do we have?
Still have no idea.
Yeah,
Still
I
have
mean,
no idea who we can sign.
we've thrown a few names in there. I think
Comment who you want if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah. If you're watching on
Yeah.
YouTube,
I wanna
comment
know.
down below. Yeah,
Any
let us know.
ideas?
Be
I can
realistic.
only
Don't
think
just
of
say
Tony.
some.
Yeah. Don't say Olivier Giroud because
£50 million
that's-
player that's never going to come.
Yeah,
And
Olivier
realistically,
Giroud's never coming.
Ivan Toney won't be joining. He joined in the summer, didn't he? He joined them in the summer.
Yeah.
He's not going to be leaving after 5 months. And if he did, it would be for 40 odd million. Like
What
could
about
you-
them?
exactly.
What about? I'm gonna throw another name into the hat. What about Timo Pukki? Would you like to see him at Brighton?
No,
It's like 30, isn't he now?
Yeah, so if he's banging him in last season. I mean, it was he had a bit of a sort of.
He
purple
banged him in
patch,
for
but-
like 3 months.
Yeah, it's
and
just
he
a purple patch.
Went, didn't
Yeah,
he?
was just a
he
purple
did. He was
not
literally
good.
he was like a 3-month merchant, wasn't he? He
Yeah.
like, done
Yeah,
well
that
for 3
was it.
months and then just fucked off.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Comment down below. Let us know what you think. Because we're just throwing a couple of names out there. But yeah, we'll be interested to see what the Brighton fans think. So let's go on then to the Arsenal preview. So big tough game. We've historically done really well against Arsenal. They're sort of we're their bogey team. And it's the same with West Ham.
Them and West Ham, yeah.
Yeah, well, we talked about it before, didn't we, Ben and Brian? We spoke about it like in our group chat. The last time we lost to West Ham was a 6-0 defeat. I think it was back in 2013. I think it was, and Ricardo Vazte hat trick. So yeah,
Unfortunately, I was there. That was a terrible away day. That was a big away day, I think, because they just come down from the Prem, and we were walking through. We were walking around the stadium, and we saw these massive West Ham fans walking past us with like the scars down their faces. Because Millwall fans scar their faces down there. So we saw all these lads with like their scars down their face. We were like, Jesus Christ, this is a proper away day. This is a Colchester away. This is West Ham.
Green Street. All over
It was proper Green Street.
But
West Ham, 10 games against them in the Premier League now, and they still haven't beat us, which is quite good, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
that's
I
insane.
think, what was it, Arsenal? When was the last time Arsenal beat us? Anyone know?
October 2017.
No, look at that knowledge from Ryan.
Strength.
They beat us
Integrity.
2-0. Or was it?
Well,
I think it was October 2017.
Well, there you go.
Might have even
So
been
yeah.
before that.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time, and going into it now they beat Chelsea 3-0. I'm a bit like, fuck's sake. They're finding form at the right time. And everyone bantered them. The whole banter club. There were the whole banter club saying, they're going to get relegated. They're playing really shit at the moment. But then
it was being built up as a relegation battle, relegation clash. Wasn't it?
They won't go down. Let's face it.
Of course not.
But
But yeah, I mean, they're down there, and they're down there for a reason, I suppose. They've not been at it this season. So, Ryan, like, are you feeling confident going into the game? Like, do you think at least we can grab a draw, or do you reckon we could even snatch a result? Maybe.
I mean, I would have said, I would have fancied us to beat them. But then they go and smack Chelsea 3-0, and you just think, oh my God, they're not that bad then. And, you look at them and you think, I think the trouble with it is I think Arteta is a good manager, and that might make me sound mad, but I think he is. And I think the trouble with him is maybe he hasn't managed the sort of egos that he's witnessed there. He's only been a number 2 to Pep, hasn't he? So he comes in and he's managing the likes of Aubameyang, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And you see those sort of players taken out. I think David Luiz was taken out. Aubameyang was taken out.
I think apart from Aubameyang, it was all COVID related. So Aubameyang
was it all COVID related?
Yeah. So Aubameyang was tactical. But Luiz,
Right.
Willian, and one of the other players,
Gabriel was definitely COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, restrictions. Yeah.
But anyway, regardless of that, I think it definitely goes to show, as I was talking about the whole passion thing earlier, as cliche as it is, you look at that team of Arsenal players that were fielded for that game, there is no way, if you look at them on paper, like for like against Chelsea, that they should be winning that game 3-0.
Mate, when that lineup got released, I was literally like, that is a shambles. Like their lineup.
Yeah.
So they had, I think the front strike. So Lacazette, who's been poor. Then they had behind him, they had Martinelli, who's very good. Emil Smith-Rowe, and then Saka. And like, if you look at that on paper, and then it was a pivot of El Neni and Xhaka, and then they had Pablo Mari at centre half with who was it? Oh, Holding. And I was just like, right, on paper, that is shocking. Like, that is awful.
It is.
But what you said, Ryan, the front, like Martinelli, Emil Smith-Rowe and Saka are all young. Well, I think they're all like 20, 21 maybe. So they're all young, hungry, a point to prove. And I think you hit the nail on the head. They literally were showing they want to play. Like Martinelli, I remember he missed the chance and he was fuming with himself. He was raging. Yeah, like I think he did an overhead kick and he was like, for fuck's sake, like, why haven't I scored? And that just shows the passion. And no, 100%. I think
because they want it. That's
down to the Arsenal. It's definitely down to the Arsenal players, because I saw a mad stat last week. I think it's Unai Emery's now managing Villarreal. He was obviously previously Arsenal manager. Appalling at them. Yeah, I think he's got Villarreal 17 games unbeaten, isn't it? Which is I think it's club record.
Might be more,
it might be 19. I think it's 19. Yeah.
So which just goes to show it is down to the players sometimes. It's not just the manager being rubbish.
No, 100%.
I think
100%.
The trouble with us at the moment, as I say, is that I think, to me, looking at our games, we don't have those sort of game changers, if you know what I mean. We don't have that. You look at your Aston Villas, you look at, I'll mention him again, you look at Leicester, you look at Vardy, Maddison, you look at Grealish. You have those go-tos that you think will do something. You even look at Norwich last season, you mentioned Pukki. For them, he was banging them in. So, you have those players that you think, oh, God, they're going to be a bit of a handful. And I expect when people look at us, you think,
there isn't really...
they've got Lewis Dunk and Ben White, Tarek Lamptey. You've got the defenders, but...
no one going forward.
Are you? No, exactly. And that's the thing. And we don't have anyone to really just hit them. So, going into the Arsenal game, as you asked... Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I've got to be honest now. I think with them looking so up for it and fired up from that game, because I can imagine that would have been quite a confidence boost, especially for the youngsters that are given the game.
That's a huge confidence boost.
And they'll be coming into our
Saka was unbelievable.
Saka's class.
And they'll be coming into our game and they'll be thinking, we've got a point to prove against Brighton because, we haven't been able to beat Brighton in 3 years.
We need to beat them.
Simple as. Yeah, we've embarrassed them in the last few years and they're going to be thinking we need to give them back something. And I've got to be honest, it doesn't look great for us at the moment. We've got one win all season at home, all year at home, and I must admit that last win did come against Arsenal. But here we are, final game of the year, 2020. It's Arsenal again, and
it'll be a great way to end a shambolic year at home, wouldn't it? If we beat Arsenal as the only other team that we've beaten, that'd be such a good way to end the year.
Yeah. Just to sort of back off, sort of go off you, Ryan. I feel like definitely it's not a game that I want to be like, especially after the Chelsea game. I think they're going to go into this game very, very confident, and rightfully so, because they did really take the game to Chelsea, and they pretty much. Chelsea were poor, but at the same time, Arsenal done really well. And those attacking options they've got. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not going into the game very confident, based back, defensively, especially. What we saw against West Ham. But just to sort of talk about sort of how they go into the game, they've got these young players who, like you mentioned, Ben Saka. They've got Martinelli is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they've got these players that, and even Xhaka, everyone banters Xhaka. But he's actually done really well, and he scored that incredible free kick as well against Chelsea. But historically, we've sort of given them, we talk about sort of, giving it to them. Maupay against them, Gunduzi, you had that incident. Then you had Basuma laughing at Monreal, which I don't know if he was laughing, but that was turned into a meme. That was turned into a meme. He wasn't,
was he? But it was funny.
No, So I think there's going to be a lot of animosity, especially with like Arsenal fans, because in that video with Ty, Ty calling us out saying, "Hopefully you get relegated."
So there's a lot.
Oh yeah.
So get relegated.
So there's a lot of animosity between Arsenal and Brighton. Really now, like it's not a rival by any stretch, but in recent times, there's been a lot of animosity. So I'm interested to see how if that has an effect on the game, and if it's quite a feisty game, and how we sort of go into it. Yeah, no, definitely. There's always a talking point that comes out of it. So,
and I'm praying Lamptey is back. I don't know what we haven't really been given any duration of how long he's going to be out for, have we? It's just every kind of game.
It's like game by game.
Game by game. It's like, he's not featuring. You're like, oh god, how long is this going to be? No one's really said, I don't think, saying, he's going to be out for 4 weeks.
The club never tell us with injuries. It's so frustrating. We have like a minor knock and then they're out for about a year. It's just like, where did they go then? What happened to them? I remember, I think Izquierdo's was supposed to be like something small and then it turned into like a huge ACL problem. And I think Proppers was the same, and we haven't seen him since the beginning of the year.
Luckily, he was back on the bench though today.
Alzate went missing as well. Do you remember for like 3 weeks?
Alzate just went missing.
I think he hides him in a cupboard somewhere, and he's like, "All right, time to come out. Come on, boys."
Yeah, it's just like, where do they go?
It's like the Bermuda Triangle, the American Express training facility, isn't it? It's like they turn up and then they never come out again. Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's going to be one of those games where, I'm not going into it full of confidence, but historically, and sometimes that does play a part in it. We could maybe grab a result, and we enjoy playing against Arsenal, and it seems like they don't enjoy playing against us. So you never know what could happen. We can only pray, boys. Hopefully,
it's football, but yet we still support it. But it's football. Anything can happen. Let's be positive.
Exactly.
Let's be positive.
Exactly. And any
I was
last
positive
words
today, and that didn't go very well, did it?
I was going to say. Any last words, boys? Anything you want to add? Anything we haven't spoken about?
Just that I'm begging Lamptey's back for Arsenal.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
I just want to see us win a game.
Yeah, I'm with Ryan on this one. I just want to see 3 points.
Yeah, I think everyone listening is probably with you as well, Ryan.
Yeah, because I was saying off air, I was saying to you, Ryan, off air, I was just like, this is the first game, so sort of the back of the West Ham game. This is the first game I've genuinely been very angry / annoyed at a result we've had, because I've always been, we've all been very confident. We've all been pro Potter. We've always been like, okay, look, we're playing well. We've just been unlucky, but it's just week after week, and it's sort of grinding me down a little bit. It's just like silly mistakes. It's the same theme every week: silly mistakes, poor defending. Look good, look pretty. Just can't finish our chances.
And then we'll take the positives and move on.
Move on, yeah. So only 3 points from Fulham, Sheffield United, and West Ham. That is not a good look.
Let me ask you
when we were beating West Ham.
Oh, go on.
Sorry, go on. Yeah, no. When we were beating West Ham, and we were obviously 3 points in the bag, it looked like not in the bag. I was thinking, well, that's kind of made up from us dropping points against Sheffield United, because we only got a point there, and you'd expect us only to get a point at West Ham. So I kind of made up for it. So, but then coming away with a draw, it's still so deflating.
No, mate, 100%. I was actually gutted because of the way we were playing, and the fact we went 2-1 up, and we were like 10 minutes to go. I think he scored an 80-something minute. It's just like, what? Like, why? Like, let's just get 3 points.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. It's just frustrating.
Yeah.
But go on, Ryan. What questions do you have for us? I'm intrigued.
Fire.
Oh yeah. So the question I have for you boys, because obviously we've backed Potter a lot, and maybe we haven't spoke about him too much in this one, because I think you could argue that maybe he got it wrong today. I think the team selection wasn't great. I think the whole setup maybe suited us in the first half, but it definitely didn't in the second. But the question I have is, Potter in or out? We are literally 1 game left of the year, and I mean calendar year. We've got 1 win at home. I think we've got 1 win away, right? Or 2 wins, or something like that.
Newcastle and Villa. Yeah,
Newcastle Villa this season. Yeah. So, yeah, what are we saying? Are we saying in, or are we saying out?
Do you want me to go
and
first?
I'm not saying definitely. I'm not saying out as in I'm not saying out as in get him out. I'm saying out as in I'm leaning towards that because it's not looking great, or I'm saying in because I think it can turn around.
So should we say a 10 as Potter out and a 0? Or should we do like that?
Yeah, let's say 10 is really, really bad.
Right.
Let's say 1 being let's do it the other way around. Makes more sense. 1 being awful, 10 being we are amazing. We're going to turn around.
All right, so I'm going to start. I'll start off. So I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 6 right now, maybe 5.5, because for me it's right bang in the middle. And the reasons for that is, so firstly, I feel like we're still, we're not playing awful. We're not like a defensive team. We don't set up shop, get a draw. Well, I mean, we have got the most draws in the Premier League this season, but I don't feel like he sets us up for that. I don't feel like he goes out to the game and be like, right, boys, we're going to have 10 at the back. Just make sure we don't lose. Like, I don't feel like that's what he's doing. That's just my interpretation. So for that reason, giving it sort of high thing, and I feel like he has got long-term vision. We discussed it last week. I feel like we are still sort of going there, but we're not going there quick enough for maybe our fans' liking. And I think that's where the frustration lies.
It's a long journey. We're just at the beginning.
So this is the thing for me personally. That all these Potter out fans, right? All these people are like, yeah, get him out the club, blah, blah, blah. I feel like you've got to remember where we come from, right? And what the size of our club, the players we've got, everything that's available to us, the resources, the money, etc., etc. I feel like sometimes we're a bit, and I'm guilty of it as well. I feel like sometimes we get a bit too ahead of ourselves, and we want to be ahead of ourselves, but we actually got to think about like, actually, all right, we've got these players, we've got this manager, we've got this funds available. Like, I think it's just, like we mentioned a lot, and I think you mentioned it before, Ryan. It's just perspective. We just got to have a little bit of perspective, and just remember like where we've come from and what the project that he's trying to build. However, in saying all of that, today I feel like in the second half, he could have switched it up. Once Yarmolenko and Lanzini came on, I feel like he could have switched up the tactics a little bit, and catered to battle against them. But yeah, apart from that, I'm definitely Potter in and sort of 5.5, 6 on the scale.
So on that then, before I go to Ben, do you think then that because you're on a 5.5, whatever it was, 6, is that you think we can turn it around and not get relegated, or do you think if we go down, we keep Potter and you think he'll get us back up?
Yeah. So, okay, well, actually, I feel like he can do both. So I feel like he can keep us up. I feel like he's the right man to keep us up. But also, if he doesn't keep us up, I feel like he's the right man to take us back up.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go. Right, so I think touching on what you said, Maz, you're pretty much spot on. I think some people have forgotten about that. We are a Premier League club trying to change our whole club identity in the Premier League. It's not like we've just been taken over by Gus Poyet in League One and we're playing all this different style of football all of a sudden. Like, we're changing the whole club identity in the Premier League. That is a pretty tough thing to do. So I think we've got to give respect to everyone involved doing that. Keeping us up last year, finishing 15th was brilliant. Where am I on the scale? I'd probably say a 7. I'm definitely still Potter in, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens after January. If we don't recruit and get a striker, that scale is going to go all the way back down to Potter out. Obviously, that's not down to him getting the players in; it's down to the club. But I think his style of play is working, but we just really need that striker. So ask us again in January when it could be a lot worse. But I'm still definitely Potter in. And yes, Maz, I agree with you. He can definitely keep us up, but he can also definitely get us back up if we do get relegated. Yeah, I do. I think our players are good enough for the Championship, but at the moment not good enough for the Premier League.
Yeah. No, I think I agree with what you guys say. I think my only trouble is I'm looking at it on a realistic point of view, right? Can I realistically see us staying up at this rate, how we're going at the moment?
No, my simple answer would be no. To be honest.
Probably not. No,
yeah.
I can't see that. But do I think Potter, should he hold on to some of our best players, bar probably Basuma, White, Lamptey, probably will head out? I think he should take us up. His style of play is good enough to take us up, and we'll have a lot more chances in the Championship to bury them. So I'd like to think yes, he can bring us back up. We have enough quality in the squad, but do I think he can keep us up at this moment? I don't think he can. I don't think we will stay up at this rate if nothing changes, especially in January. So on a scale of 1 to 10,
that's the thing. Like, in my brain, I'm confused about. It's like I'm battling against myself because I agree with you, Ryan. Like, the way we're going now, we can't just keep drawing games. It's simple.
No.
Like, it's simple maths. Like, we need 3 points to stay up. Like, unfortunately, like you said, at the moment, the way we are going, we're heading for relegation because we're just drawing games. We're not, we're not getting the 3 points that we need.
Good. Fulham are looking good as well. And I don't want to be that negative guy because it is frustrating. Yeah, Burnley. I don't want to be negative. It's frustrating, but it's true, isn't it?
What you're saying is spot on. I just feel like I feel like give him until look what Ben said. If by the end of January we're still in this position where we are now, where we're drawing games, we're not. I think it's time. Like, we've got to look at it and be like, right, okay, this is when we. But I feel like it's just that tad bit early yet to fully go. Yeah, right. Get rid of him. But then I just feel like as well, if we do get rid of him in January, right, and if we're destined to go down, right, why? For me, I'm just like, well, we might as well just keep him and then go
that's
again
what I was
in
just
the
about to say.
Like,
I feel like our owners don't. Well, I feel like the board aren't too worried about going down because I think they've got expectations of they're okay to go down and come back up. They don't think it's
because we've got the infrastructure. We've got the infrastructure.
Yeah.
We've got we've got the youth players coming through. You got your like Ostergaard, your Hayden Roberts, your all these players. Shaqiri. Like, we've got these great youth players that worst case if we do go down, and I don't want to talk about relegation because I feel like we're much better than relegation and we should be better than what we are right now. But let's be realists, and if we do get relegated, I don't think it's the end of the world. I feel like we are good enough to go back up, and of course I don't want us to get relegated, but if we do, it's not the end of the world. And I feel like
I don't
Potter,
think it'll be detrimental. It's not going to be a
But I
be
just
all and
feel
end all.
like
If we go down this season, it's not going to kill us.
yeah, but I feel like Potter is the man to lead that project. We talk about this 5-year, 10-year project, whatever. I feel like he is that guy. But let's see. At the end of January, like Ben said, if by the end of January we haven't signed anyone, we might be talking completely differently. But
That's going to be
moment,
very worrying. That's going to be really worrying.
Okay.
I think it might happen. I think we might go through January and not sign that striker that we're after, and that will be
so do I.
very worrying. That will be really worrying.
I can see that happening, especially with the modern day. But as you say, I think if we go down, it's not going to be catastrophic. It's not going to ruin the club. I don't think we are set up to be like a Sunderland or like a Bolton or like one of those clubs that just falls from the top. I can't see that, and I really hope I don't eat my words on that. But I can't see us doing that. I think the owners care about the club a lot more than those do, and I think they care.
And we're more financially structured as well.
To let us get to that situation. So if we did go down, I think we've definitely got even our youth system enough to probably get us on our way back up. And then we've got the experience in Dunkey and Webster at that level. Even Sanchez could be on there. So, I don't think we will be in a catastrophic position. And to be fair, I saw this thing and it said, would you take, because actually no, someone messaged me on Talk Seagulls and he said, would you take going down and then everything returns back to normal in August? So you get fans back, you get to go to games again, and there's no VAR, and you're in the Championship playing football every single week, right? Or you stay in the Premier League and it stays how it is, so you can't go to games, and we've got VAR and we've got all the stupid official rubbish that goes on every single week.
To be fair,
bias and nonsense.
The way you presented that, I'll take Championship all day long.
We'll record a lot more podcasts, that's for sure. I was watching the West Ham games thinking, we play a lot more games in Championship. We'll be doing Tuesday night sessions, we'll do Saturday games. There'll be a lot more podcasts.
A lot more content. But no, mate, to be fair, Ryan, to answer your question, I probably would take the Championship, to be honest. Like, we'd win more games, probably. If everything changed in terms of like fans back and stuff, 100%.
And that's the thing about the Championship. You can go to any game in the league. You could be playing, you could be playing Luton Town away, and Luton could be bottom of the league, and you could be flying at the top. Luton could go and thrash you 3-0 because it doesn't matter.
Isn't that just more stress? That's just more stress, though, isn't it?
It's more stress, but it's so much more fun. Like I'm sorry, I love the Championship so much.
Where are you on the scale, though, Ryan? So, to your own question.
On the scale, 10 being everything's amazing.
One or 0 being shit.
I'd say 4 or 5 right now. I wouldn't go much higher than that, and I don't want to be that pessimist, but I'm just trying to think as realistically as possible. I don't doubt where we've come from. We've all gone through it together, albeit different times, but we've all done it, so we know what we are. And I think, but at the same time, we've got to be looking at now. We can't be looking in the past too much, otherwise we're going to sound like a Liverpool fan and a Man United fan back in the day. But
I was just about to say, I feel like the good thing about us three is we're not one of those deluded football fans where we sort of think we're amazing. We could sit here every week and go, we play this incredible football. We should be 7th. We should be 8th in the league. XG tells us we should be 8th in the league, 7th in the league, whatever. Like, we could sit here and do that, but we're very realistic in the sense that we understand who we are, where we've come from, and the fact that admittedly, we should be doing better than we are on paper, but we haven't. So it's just simple. We haven't been scoring those goals. We haven't been putting the goals away. So we are in that position that we're in. So it's one of those.
If you don't score those goals, do you deserve to stay up?
No, exactly. No,
that. You don't.
Exactly that.
But let's end on a positive.
Which is,
Solly March was great. Burn was great, and let's go and beat Arsenal again, because that'll be
fingers crossed.
End the year off.
Come on, boys.
And let's make Ty cry again, please. That'd be good.
That'll do.
No, amazing.
That'll do. And troops.
That'd be incredible. AFTV. So just talking about AFTV, funny enough, actually. So our next guest, on the Arsenal pod, we've got a very good guest. We've got Joel Bayer, who is on social media as Cheeky Sport as well. So he's the face of that, and obviously a very, very big Arsenal fan. So we're going to be having him on the pod after the Arsenal game. So that should be really, really good. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, it does mean a lot to us for the YouTube channel. And keep listening on Spotify and all those Apple Music, etc., etc. It really does mean a lot to us. And of course, we will be back after the Arsenal game, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
And also have a good New Year's as well.
Oh yeah.
We'll
speak to him.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the
we're back
scheduling.
straight away, aren't we? We've got a day off tomorrow because hopefully this will come out the same day. This should be. Should be 8:00. So if you're watching this at 8:00, then Ben's done well. And then we've got a day off, and then we've got Arsenal again, and then we're
Oh, there you go.
to kick off then.
Okay.
So
All right,
So we'll see him before New Year's.
Yeah.
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 All right, peace. All right, cool. Have a
In a
good one,
bit.
guys. In a bit.
Bye bye.